Hey folks, welcome back to the HP Gaming GameLINK video. Today we're going to be exploring a mansion, trying to unravel the clues and trying to solve a good old-fashioned murder mystery as we take a look at awkward guests. Hey folks, how are we all doing? If you don't know me, my name is Matt, and we are here today, as I mentioned, to talk about a game that we've had on the shelves for a little while. It has been selling very, very well. This is a game called Awkward Guests. Now, this is a bit of a murder mystery, Cluedo-esque style game for 2 to 8 players. Plays about 45 minutes. I think age is about 12 plus. This game is a unique deck game in that the deck building system of the cards contained herein will allow for unprecedented replayability. Very much Cluedo style gameplay, but Cluedo with a revamped and much more involved play style. Very excited to get into this one. The box is very heavy. Don't let the size fool you. There is a lot of content in here. And we're going to take a look and show you what it's all about. So, without further ado, I'm going to grab my trusty knife here and we're going to get into the box. Now, this game is a game that requires, I think it requires an app. I don't know if you need the app as gospel. I think you can play it without, but I think the app allows for extra cases and extra gameplay, so it's probably worth getting anyway. I think there's something, it boasts something like 3,600 solutions for the game as well, so there's a lot to get through, and I think, yeah, definitely something that's a party game, particularly with that 8-player count as well. Plastic, of course, goes on the floor. Let's rip off this lot here. Brilliant deck system. It's got Dice Tower approval. Pop that there. And then you can see a bit more about what it's about. The suitcase styling on the box is awesome. The artwork here is great. I'm not sure if that's going to be too glared or not. There's all sorts of clues and things that have been circled as well, which sort of bodes for the style of the game. Looking forward to see how this works. This is Awkward Guests, the Walton case, and obviously there's expansions and things that are potentially on the horizon. Let's see. Oh, nice and snug. As I said, there was a lot in the box here. So really looking forward to seeing how this is all going to play. All right, first up, looks like we've got some player aids here, player boards maybe. Let's have a look and see what these are all about. And I think there's individual player screens that you can use, so maybe that's what this is here. If I can find the seal to break that open, I'll show you what it's all about. More plastic for the floor. That's why we keep this trusty thing handy here, because sometimes it's just a bit hard to break into. So that goes on the floor. Now these are the player screens, so if you have a look here, oh, there's a bit of a clue here on the side. It looks like it could just be a freak thing. 13 magnifying glass and a cat. Looks like they all have the same there. And they've got what looks like the mansion that you're investigating in. And on the back, it's got megacorpin games or megacorpin games and a couple of the folks here. But when you unfold the player board, you've got a complete breakdown of the Walton mansion, a bit of a player aid on the side of how it all works, and then you've got different suspects and their motives. So you can actually use dry erase pens to actually tick off different aspects here and then wipe them clean at the end of the game for the next one. So you've got a solution: who, why, how, who was their accomplice, was there an accomplice, why they did it, etc. Different signs here, lots of clues. This is what I'm talking about. It's Cluedo in a much bigger format, which is awesome. You've got different clues here as well. I don't know if you can see all the different detail. There is a lot of information on these player aids and screens, and obviously when you stand them up on the board there, they give you an overview, so you can't really see what's going on. That's cool. I like it. I'm going to put one of those up on here. And these ones, I believe, are all the same. And there should be 8 of those bad boys in there. Yep, all the same. They're fantastic. And then what we've got here is the investigation begins. So this looks like it's going to be a instruction manual of how to play. And I do like that you've got this cartoon art style, which is very cool. You've got different solutions in the back of the book. You've got the different suspects, how to play, game overview, and then all the different movements. So you're actually tracking the different suspects' movements around the mansion as well, which is awesome. So it's not just a matter of finding out who did it with what and where. There's a bit more involved. Talks about the different card mechanics because of the different deck style, how to build the deck. The deck, I think it's like a drawer that you keep all the solution cards in. There's also a solo game mode as well, I believe, which I'm looking forward to taking for a spin. And then you've got all the different solutions and difficulties here as well. So there's a lot of code cracking as well in this game. I won't go any further because that might give things away. But I said at the outset, there was a lot in this box, and so far I'm not disappointed. I mean, the player aids combining as player screens I think is fantastic. The instruction manual doubling as a clue manual I think is great too. We've got lots of tokens and things here as well. It looks like we've got a standee. I believe that might be Mr. Walton himself, the man who is now deceased or will be deceased. And he's got, you can see that artwork style there that I'm talking about. It's pretty sick. That's cool. Then we've got direction tokens. So these look like they are showing you around the board of where characters may have moved or may not have moved. And you've got these other tokens which look like they are either for accusations or, I don't know, solution suggestions. I think it was this person. Evidence markers. So you might have found a murder weapon at this part of the house or something like that that you can mark there. Let's make that guy stand up. I'll put him here. He could be watching on, letting us know what's happening. And then you've got that confidential evidence thing that we talked about as well, which is here. It looks like there might be a bit missing. So yeah, this all goes together to form the drawer, which is quite cool. And there must be another piece, but get rid of all those bits. And we'll find that out later and we'll make that on. Now you've got these as well. These are the map of the mansion. So you'll get one of these per player, and you can actually use this behind your screen to track all of the movements and information, possible weapons, and then obviously you can use the dry erase markers or a dry erase marker on the other player aid as well. And they're double-sided, which I think is awesome. Massive replayability. And I think you can also go to the website and print these off. So if you ever run out, I mean, the pad is massive. There's huge amounts of these here. I think you can actually go to the website and actually print off more of these if you need to. But I think this is awesome. So you get your Cluedo pads were like this big. These ones is obviously a lot more information that you'll need to record on. That's very cool. And then we have the decks of cards. Now, I want to go through all of these, but I'm also concerned they might reveal some information. Obviously, each deck is going to be potentially different. So what we'll do, let's have a look here. You've got the cards inside the actual trays of cards. You've got numbers. So I don't know if you can see it there, 1 to 50, 51 to 100, 100 to 150, and so on and so forth. So when you play through the game, you'll obviously sort through. Now, what's interesting about this is you've got all these decks of cards, but you've got 201 to 243, and there's nothing in that box. So I'm wondering whether or not these cards, if I look at the back, that's confidential. So there must be some other cards in there that we're not supposed to look at. And then here you've got 150, starting at 150. And 200, 100. So what we might do is sort them out into their deck box areas, but we might not have a look at all of the cards. They look like they've got pulls on them too, which is awesome. think when this is done, I'm going to go for a solo mode. I just need to know what's on these cards. Outstanding replayability. If there is really, 3,600 different options and solutions and potential outcomes, that's really cool. So the cards here have their standard backing on them. And these ones go down to number 1. So the first card in the deck is a suspect card, and it looks like here we've got service staff reports that. So the different cards report on different events and goings on around the area. So yes, I've spelled that card for you, but that card may or may not come up in play. So I think they're meant to be in order. So what we'll do, let's put them in the reverse order. And obviously this is going to sort out the different game trays, so you'll keep the actual game box on hand to sort out the decks of cards. This is going to be very, very cool. I remember playing Cluedo when I was younger and growing up, and this looks like it's going to be a little bit more involved, in depth. Plus, I just love a good murder mystery as well. I think, I don't know, it's just it intrigues me, this game, and it receives massive reviews. So I'm looking forward to getting to the table and seeing how it goes. There isn't much more to discuss. I don't know whether I should open the confidential deck at the moment. It might have extra cards that we don't know about. That's going to go in there. Then we've got the 150 deck. I won't go through and rifle through and reorganize them. That's just going to be boring for you all. 150. And then we're going to go to 200, if I can find the pull tag on this one. Yeah, so there's a lot of information on these cards. 250 total, I believe. So even though there's only 243 here, I think there's a total of 250 cards that are in there. So yeah, the confidential cards look like they are literally that. There's a mixed bag. So what I'm going to do is siphon through these, put them at the bottom. Oh no, that's there. So there's a space for confidential cards in the middle. And then we've got 201 to 243 in there. And that sorts out the cards in their individual deck areas. I won't show you the backs of those. Some of these cards, though, I'll show you number 150, more information. So each card has information on suspects' whereabouts, motives, where they may or may not have been. Yeah, that's pretty much everything for the box, but there's still a lot in the box that I haven't been able to show you because I just don't want to spoil anything if you decide you want to give this one a crack. The fact that it's playable by as few as 1, but also playable by as many as 8 is a great party game. This is like a How to Host Your Murder without all the role-playing stuff, which some people love and some people not so much. Personally, I love the role-playing stuff, but this, I don't know, there's something about this that appeals to me because it is that more Cluedo-esque style simplicity, but obviously a bit more in-depth in terms of how to go about solving the mystery and the variable outcomes that you just won't know obviously until you play through the different scenarios that are available. And having an app that can run the game for you as well without a moderator, big tick for me. And I'm digging these. I'm digging these little barricades. They're quite cool. But that is pretty much all there is for Awkward Guests. If you would like us to do a playthrough of this one and do some spoilers and things for it, by all means let us know in the comments below. Thank you again to all of our Patreon subscribers. We love your support and we appreciate everything you do for us and all your suggestions in helping us bring some great content to the YouTubes. If you want to jump on board and be some of our Patreon subscribers, get exclusive discounts and benefits, you can do that by jumping on to patreon.com/HBGamingAU, or you can hit up the website www.hbgaming.com.au to get your hands on some goodies as well. Plenty more to come this month. We are now in October, so we are going to be doing some spectacular stuff for Halloween. We have a few extra bits and pieces and a few Halloween-themed games and playthroughs that we are going to be showing you. If you have any requests or other comments, obviously put them in the comments below and we'll get back to you when we can. Otherwise, folks, thank you once again for joining us. My name is Matt. You've been watching HB Gaming's GameLINK. Bye for now.